We experience the world so seamlessly that we rarely pause to consider how it happens. Every color you see, every sound you hear, and every memory you recall feels effortless. But your reality is actively constructed, millisecond by millisecond, inside your skull. Your brain weighs only about 3 pounds and accounts for just 2% of your body weight, yet it consumes 20% of your body's total energy. This data visualization compares the brain's 86 billion interconnected neurons to the stars in our galaxy, showing the sheer structural density required to power that network. This presents one of the deepest mysteries in science. How does raw physical matter, essentially 3 pounds of wet tissue, manage to generate the subjective experience of human consciousness? To answer that, we have to strip this tissue down to its smallest biological building block. Consciousness only begins to make sense when we see how these simple, microscopic parts scale up into an infinitely complex whole. That fundamental building block is the neuron. You can think of a single neuron as a highly specialized binary switch. When this switch receives enough stimulation, it operates on an all-or-nothing principle. It either fires at full strength or it doesn't fire at all, sending a sudden spike of voltage called an action potential racing down a long cellular extension known as an axon. The billions of wiring cables in your head don't actually touch. There's a gap between them called the synaptic cleft. To cross it, the signal triggers chemical messengers called neurotransmitters, which drift across the void and bind to receptors on the next cell. The exact type of chemical dictates the meaning of the signal. Dopamine released into the gap creates a sense of motivation and anticipation, while glutamate excites the receiving cell, urging it to fire its own electrical pulse. Every human emotion, every lingering fear, and every sudden realization reduces down to electricity and chemicals jumping across this microscopic void. Zooming out from those microscopic gaps, we find these billions of firing neurons organized into highly specialized anatomical regions, starting with the cerebrum. This 3D map illustrates how the cerebrum's surface, the cerebral cortex, is divided into 4 distinct territories. The frontal lobe handles executive functions like impulse control. The parietal lobe processes physical sensations. The temporal lobe manages language comprehension, and the occipital lobe at the rear is entirely dedicated to processing visual information. Beneath that wrinkled layer lie older structures, like the cerebellum and the brainstem. Operating outside your awareness, the cerebellum fine-tunes your physical movements to keep you balanced, while the brainstem manages automated survival functions, like swallowing and regulating your heart rate. Your moment-to-moment experience is the result of constant, high-speed coordination between the conscious processing happening on the surface and the automated machinery working underneath. Buried deep within these structures is a specialized hub called the limbic system, which serves as the central engine for your emotions and motivations. It houses the amygdala, an almond-shaped cluster acting as a rapid threat detection alarm. It scans incoming sensory data and triggers a fight-or-flight response, spiking adrenaline and tensing muscles before your conscious mind even processes what you are looking at. Right next to it sits the hippocampus. Instead of sounding alarms, the hippocampus acts as your internal GPS for spatial navigation, and it is absolutely critical for the formation of new memories. When the hippocampus helps form a memory, it relies on a mechanism called long-term potentiation. In neuroscience, the guiding principle is simple. Neurons that fire together, wire together. A memory is not a static digital file saved to a hard drive. When 2 individual neurons repeatedly communicate, they physically reach out, thicken their branches, and build stronger structural connections. This physical consolidation process requires extensive time and energy, which is why it primarily occurs while we sleep. During deep rest, the brain replays the day's events, slowly transferring short-term experiences into long-term structural architecture. Your memories, your skills, and your emotional triggers are literal, physical changes to the geography of your brain. Because the mind is built out of a physical network, its structure is inherently vulnerable to physical degradation. Conditions like Alzheimer's disease occur when abnormal proteins accumulate and physically destroy these synaptic connections. In a stroke, a lack of oxygen causes the brain tissue to die, permanently wiping out sections of the network in minutes. Similarly, mental health conditions like anxiety or depression are rooted in physical states, such as chemical misfires in the synaptic gap or overactive anatomical regions. This is exactly why directed chemical interventions can help restore the network's balance. But this physical nature also provides our greatest evolutionary advantage: neuroplasticity. The brain retains a lifelong ability to reorganize and rewire itself. Every new experience you have, every physical skill you practice, and every fact you learn physically alters your synaptic connections. By the time you finish watching this video, you are physically different than you were 5 minutes ago. Your brain has already reshaped its own architecture to store the information you just learned.